What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about our infamous Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 30. We're going to go over quite a few things about Bray Wyatt, Raw and SmackDown these past two episodes that we just watched on Friday and Monday night. We're going to go over a couple other things, such as Freddie Prinze Jr. starting his own actual wrestling promotion, and that he wanted Karrion Kross to be the guy in the centerpiece of his promotion, which was actually very surprising. I'm also dealing with COVID. So if I sound a little off or anything by any chance, you guys know why. Because based on the way I sound, I'm sounding like I'm a little out of breath or something. I have no idea. But anyway, I do have COVID, guys, so I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet to the point as I possibly can. This may be 30 minutes, it may be an hour. So we may go the full normal hour that we normally go to, but I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, depending on how many comments you guys decide to throw at me in the chat. So, as usual, Rachel Buck at it again, pumping out several comments in one shot, and I got to read them all because I want to honor my word to you guys. So, this is what she had to say. Oh my goodness. On the next draft, they should bring up Indy Hartwell and have Johnny Gargano and his wife Candice go to the main roster and help Austin have the Sable the way back together. The stable the way back together. She's referring to the way coming back together. Do you agree or disagree? No, I do not. I don't think that they need to bring that back. That would mean Johnny Gargano is a heel. They don't need to do that. What they need to do is do DIY and have Tommaso Ciampa eventually turn on Miz with Johnny Gargano. And basically give Miz a little bit of payback for what he did to Logan Paul. I think that would be the best way to tell that story. Rachel Buck also says because they are not doing anything with Indy, she should be going to the main roster. I understand where you're coming from, but I think Indy Hartwell will be perfectly fine. They could team her with Candice LeRae as a tag team. It would be legitimate. They've done to Indy Hartwell. They may let her go altogether because they can't find anything creative for her. We don't know. She also goes on to say if Bray does come back, he should bring Bo Dallas because they need tag teams and have Bray and his brother become a tag team together. No, I don't agree with that whatsoever. They don't need Bray Wyatt in a tag team with his brother. They don't. I don't think Bo Dallas is any good anyway. I think he's shit. He's worthless. She then says, and did you hear that Matt Riddle and Rob Van Dam want to tag team together? What? What the hell? Okay, that's going to be a topic we'll talk about. I'm going to look that up as we're on the air. And then she also says Zack Ryder wants to come back to WWE too. Did you know that? Oh my goodness. All these people want to come back. This is like AEW all over again. Oh my goodness, man. Everybody from NXT. Oh, I don't want to go to WWE's main roster. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll go to AEW and we'll, compact the roster with a bunch of fucking people and have no room to fit anybody on to give them airtime. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Insane. This is crazy. Zack Ryder ain't going to be able to do shit on WWE. He's fucked, man. He should stay in Impact and enjoy himself. That's about it. Besides, he's not going to be utilized correctly. And then she says when Cody Rhodes returns, it looks more and more like Brandy Rhodes will join her husband and wrestle on WWE. because she was at the performance center. What do you think? Let me repeat this. What do you do there but train yourself? I don't know. If she comes into WWE as a professional wrestler, I mean, congrats, but whatever, you know? I heard that from Fightful on Twitter. Oh, she heard that on Fightful on Twitter. Okay. And Matt87 Eagle says, "Oh, great, more Wyatt rumors," says sarcastically. Yeah, it's pretty much what we've been hearing from JD from New York 206, but I kind of want to throw my little uh thought into it and, you know, shoot the breeze with you guys. Matt87 Eagle also stated RVD and Riddle, what are they going to call themselves? The Stoners? The Stoners. What the fuck? RVD and Matt Riddle, the Stoners. Wow. Holy shit. All right, guys. Well, if you made it this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. And guys, when you come on in, hit the like button. You know you enjoy my shit, or you wouldn't have came in to view it in the first place, okay? So hit the fucking like button, please. It helps out the algorithm and everything else in between. I really appreciate it, you guys, if you go ahead and do that. On top of that, leave subscribe to the channel, man. I mean, you guys are like you guys aren't you're missing out on some stuff, you know. I'm here every single week. Appreciate the like there, by the way, whoever did that. Um and you know, I'm here every single week, pumping out at least 3 to 4 videos a week. And I'm working 8 to 9 hours a day practically, Monday through Friday. So, you guys are getting a lot from me. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do what I'm doing. Most people would just go ahead and say, fuck it, the channel's not successful. I'm done. See you later. Catch you on the flip side. Not me. I'm going to continue to do this no matter what. The viewership on this channel is pretty decent and it's not bad. I'd like to get it to where I don't have to work anymore, but hey, that's going to come from me putting some effort in, putting some money into this channel, which I'm eventually going to do when I move. So you guys will eventually start seeing better picture quality and you know, a lot better stuff coming from this channel than you have ever before. So I just want to give you guys heads up on that. If I don't honor my word, I don't blame you for unsubscribing from my channel. But I will eventually give you guys notice that I'm going ahead and making these upgrades on this channel, and I will come out with those upgrades and give you my word, because that is what I'm here for. I try my damnedest to live up to the schedule I'm trying to do, and it's not always easy. Trying to do a full-time job that pays the bills and then this is a hobby, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. And I'm not looking for praise or anything. I'm just explaining and hoping that you guys understand at the same time. So that's all I have to say on that subject. Anyway, let's get into Bray Wyatt. That's what we're here for. So here we go. Backstage news on potential Bray Wyatt WWE return now that Triple H is in charge of creative. 2021 was a change-filled year for WWE, with the company releasing over 80 talents from its roster. Superstars on that inaugural list include Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Malachi Black, and Andrade El Idolo, but there was no more puzzling name among them than Bray Wyatt. Definitely true on that, because he was one of the top sellers in the company with all of his merchandise. The 3-time WWE World Champion was let go in July of 2021, with the company sending out a short memo on their social media wishing him the best in all of his future endeavors. Unfortunately for his fans, however, there haven't been any future endeavors to speak of. Wyatt have been laying low since his release, having yet to make an appearance for any wrestling promotion in any capacity. He has, however, done a great job of teasing fans about his next step along the way, even cryptically suggesting that a return to WWE could ultimately be his landing spot. The most example, the most recent example of this saw Wyatt send out a tweet referencing several WWE legends, including The Rock, Ric Flair, and The Undertaker. With Paul Levesque, as we know him as Triple H, now taking over as the head of WWE Creative following the recent downfall of Vince McMahon, the prospect of Wyatt returning to WWE seems even more likely. Triple H has made it his mission to bring back several talents Vince McMahon let go, particularly those who came up through NXT with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and also Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Dexter Lumis being the first to come back. All of them are former NXT wrestlers, and so is Wyatt. So, there are numerous issues that Vince McMahon had with Wyatt being difficult backstage. According to Fightful Select, McMahon's retirement was a good sign when it came to fixing the relationship between Wyatt and WWE. One talent told Fightful that they could tell McMahon was done with Wyatt and didn't like him personally. McMahon would reportedly often shout derogatory things about Wyatt's physique, apparently in response to Wyatt being unafraid to criticize the creative plans involving his storylines and characters. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This man is shit. Vincent McMahon is the biggest piece of shit walking on the fucking planet of the earth. Seriously. He wants to shit on someone because they don't have some so-called unique fucking physique because of the way he looks. Motherfucker, he was producing the best stuff. Both characters, the Wyatt family, with him being the Swamp Wyatt, and also the Fiend, was producing the best wrestling content on your show, dude. How the fuck can Vincent McMahon dislike this dude? I don't care if he looks like 100. I don't care if he's 300 pounds overweight. If he's entertaining an audience, who the fuck cares what he looks like? This guy is the biggest fucking moron walking on the face of the earth. And the worst part is that oh my God. The worst part is this guy had the audacity to say all this shit about this man, but yet behind the scenes, he's forking out millions and millions of dollars to these women to hush them the fuck up while he's fucking them. Are you kidding me, man? This guy has got a lot of fucking nerve to do that to people. I have no idea how this man even sleeps at night, but somehow he does. I have no idea why. This guy is a fucking blithering idiot, and I am so happy for right now, just for this small amount of time. I don't know if he's going to be gone forever. I'm not going to bank on it. That's why you guys have not seen me do weekly reviews on each one of the shows of Raw and SmackDown. But personally, I don't trust WWE because I have a feeling eventually, somewhere down the line, this motherfucker will be back. He's like fucking herpes. He don't go away. I swear to God, Vince McMahon is fucking herpes. That should be his new slogan name. Herpes. This guy's a fucking douchebag. I hope he stays gone and buried because, my goodness, man, this guy's a cocksucker. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys heard anything about this, but I heard rumors on JD from New York 206 where he actually mentions, oh God, he mentioned that Vince McMahon was planning on burying Gunther. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? Holy shit. After Friday night's SmackDown episode where he main evented with Shinsuke Nakamura and had one of the best intercontinental matches we've had in years? Are you kidding me? I mean, the last good match with the Intercontinental Championship on the line was, I think, Night of Champions or Clash of Champions in 2020 during the pandemic. And they had a triple threat ladder match with trying to remember who it was. It was Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and I'm trying to remember who the third person was. Sami Zayn. That's who it was. That was a great Intercontinental match. But other than that, I can't remember a fucking Intercontinental Championship match that even mattered. Literally even mattered, or you even gave a shit. Ricochet winning, okay, yeah, that was kind of cool, but who the fuck remembers that? I mean, really, who the hell remembers that shit? I just, I don't understand this company. I don't understand what this guy, Vince McMahon. You want to know the truth? I think we're blaming all the wrong people. The only person we really should be blaming is Vince McMahon himself. I don't even think we should blame Bruce Pritchard. I mean, the only thing I would say we blame Bruce Pritchard for is not voicing his fucking viewpoint. Because this guy is a cocksucker. That's the reason why people hate Bruce Pritchard. Not because of the decisions that were made on cutting people. Bruce Pritchard had nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, that was Vince McMahon. That wasn't even Nick Khan making those decisions. That was Vince McMahon. Nick Khan, probably the only thing he was doing was issuing out the best suggestions of what he could do to help to help increase his profits. That's the only thing I think Nick Khan was doing. He was an advisor. He wasn't making the final decision on who stays and who goes. Vince McMahon was doing that. And I think Vince McMahon had an all-out grudge on Triple H. My main problem with Triple H at the time was him not stepping away 100%, saying, I'm done. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm going to go spend time with my kids and go be with my wife and get laid. Fuck you. That's what I'd have done in his situation. I wouldn't have given a flying fuck about WWE. I'd have cared about my kids and go and live my own fucking life and lift some weights and keep myself in shape and be happy as a fucking clam. That's what I would have done. So that's my viewpoint on that. I think that that would have been the best thing that he could have done at that time. Until now. Now, he's done some amazing shit. I mean, what he has been doing has been keeping people interested. Let me just see if I can even pull up about the ratings. Let me look up the ratings for Monday Night Raw. See if they came out yet today, because it is Tuesday. So let's take a look here. Okay, scrolling here. All right, WWE draws another strong ratings number, finishes first on cable. What the fuck? Holy shit! Whoa! They finished number one, but they only got 1.98 million viewers on Monday night. That's not much. I mean, it increased by a small margin, but still, they came out number one? Holy shit. The show finished first for the night on cable, including beating the final episode of Better Call Saul head to head? Holy shit. This is insane. I mean, the numbers of viewers is nothing, but compared to the competition they faced on Monday night, that's insane. They finished in first place. Raw beat every television show on cable network except The Bachelorette in the 18 to 49 demographics and all but 4 network shows and 1 cable show, 2 in Spanish in the 18 to 34 demographic. Raw won women 18 to 49 demographic, close over Better Call Saul and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. They won men in the 1849, was second to Better Call Saul in the 18 to 34, and women 12 to 34, and was just ahead in the men 12 to 34. Holy shit. So they were all the way at the top at this point for Monday night. I really wonder how they're going to do against Monday Night Football when the NFL season starts. They're going to be having all kinds of problems trying to finish in first. That's going to be their major focal point. And I think that's when we're going to see a hell of a lot more changes taking place on WWE Raw. I think we've seen a lot more changes on Raw than we do SmackDown, because SmackDown's only a 2-hour show. So it's more, easier to deal with. But 3 hours is a little bit different. You got longer attention spans to pay attention to the show, and you got to keep people entertained as you move along through the show. So at the end of the day, you got to be productive in giving out that content. So if you're doing that through the 3 hours, then you're doing an excellent job. Based on what we just read here, that's great. That is some awesome ratings. Amazing work. They haven't done that in fucking forever. I mean, geez, they finished in first place on Monday night. I gotta say, I think cable's going into the shitter. I really do. I think cable is going into the shitter at this point. I don't think people give a flying fuck about cable. And I'm one of those people. Only reason why I have cable is for 2 reasons. Football? Actually, a couple other reasons. Football, basketball, and professional wrestling. Those are my 3 reasons why I watch and have cable. Is for the sports. I don't give a fuck about the television shows. Television shows you can get on Hulu. You can get it on Paramount Plus. You can get it on fucking practically every streaming service known to man. If you have the money and you have the money for the internet service, all you need is internet, and then you just apply on whatever apps you want to work with for that month and deal with them for that month and watch through all the shit that you want to watch until you get done with it. And then you move on to the next app till you get done with whatever you want to watch on that, with television shows, movies, what have you. You don't have to waste your money on fucking cable that's $73 for YouTube TV, or waste hundreds of dollars on fucking regular cable TV that's even worse and gives you the same fucking shit that you get with YouTube TV itself or any other streaming platform for regular cable television. So, at the end of the day, guys, cable sucks. It is the worst fucking, it's the worst freaking thing to watch. Really, it is terrible. You see the same repetitive shows over and over again. It's like the same way as Vince McMahon booking a fucking match every week. It's that bad. Jeez. Well, congratulations, Triple H, for coming out number 1 for WWE Raw, man. Congratulations. I'm very happy for him, and I'm glad his work is paying off, and people are actually enjoying the product for the improvements that are being made. Matt 87 Eagle says, why difficult? I'm sure it has nothing to do with Vince burying the Fiend, then giving it to Bliss. Yeah, I think that was done a little earlier than that, Matt. I think he buried him in his very first title opportunity against Seth Rollins. And then he even impacted the burial with Saudi Arabia with good old Goldberg. Who's next? Bray Wyatt's next. He's dead. Buried in the sand, never to be found again. Give me a break, man. Matt 87 Eagle also says, all Triple H guys were doomed to be buried by the old man. Yeah, obviously, everybody was. Look, it didn't even matter if Triple H did it. If his own daughter built the NXT roster from scratch, he'd bury them too. because he had nothing to do with creating them in the first place. This guy has no care whatsoever for this product. That's why he was more concerned about getting laid than doing right by what his fucking father himself, Vince McMahon Sr., did with this product to make it successful. And then Triple H, or not Triple H, Vince McMahon made it even better when he was younger. But as he got older, he didn't give a fuck anymore. He just wanted to get rid of it, sell it, and make money and profit off of it. That's all the fucking guy cared about. That's why the show sucked. And I've been saying that for years now. I said this company was going to get sold. It was going to get sold. And now I'm not going to say that anymore because Vince McMahon ain't got nothing to sell because he ain't got ownership of the fucking company at this time. Now, hopefully that doesn't change anytime soon because we're finally seeing improvements done. And I'd hate to think that all these guys that are coming back to the main roster and to WWE that have been let go get sent back on the unemployment line. It would be really a fucking shitty situation for them. At that point, Triple H better blow a fucking gasket. Not enough to give himself a heart attack again, but, just to pretty much make his point heard by Vince McMahon and say, hey, you know what, you fucking demented old man. I quit. Go fuck yourself. See you around. Thanks for fucking everyone I've helped out and put them unemployed again. You fucking dickwad. That's what Vince McMahon deserves. And then Matt 87 Eagle goes on to say Triple H taking over creative is the best thing to happen in WWE in years. Yes, sir. Absolutely 100%. All right. So we now know that Raw finished in first place. If you guys are just coming in, Raw finished in first place with just a 1.98 rating. They beat Better Call Saul, which I couldn't believe I read that. That was insane. Absolutely insane. All right, let me see here. What else do we got? Oh, how Shawn Michaels feels about the NXT 2.0. This was actually very funny. His experience running NXT 2.0. This guy is so full of shit. He's a fall guy. That's what Shawn Michaels is. There's no way he could be booking shows like this and been working with Triple H. Triple H and him have a very similar mind for the wrestling business. And I've watched NXT the last couple of weeks. And I got to say, just watching the first 15 minutes of it, I can tell it has nothing to do with a Triple H or Shawn Michaels creative booking decisions. This felt like a Vince McMahon booking move or a Bruce Pritchard type of deal. And my God, how pathetic NXT has become. That's all I have to say on that subject. So let's go over it. BleacherReport.com. Shawn Michaels talked about running the NXT 2.0 brand and his position evolving following the health issues of Triple H. When Hunter first left, it became all me. And certainly from a television standpoint, Matt Bloom is the head coach and takes care of everything from the PC training standpoint. But when it came to NXT 2.0 television, that's something myself and my team took over creatively. I know a lot of people thought Vince and Bruce were doing that. I can promise you they did not have the time to do NXT television. If it's good or if it's bad, that's on me. Wow. Isn't it funny? It's very funny. I'm reading this and I'm listening to, not listening, but reading this and I'm thinking to myself, this sounds a lot like what Vince McMahon did during the Montreal screw job. He made Shawn Michaels look like the fucking bad guy as if he talked to Vince McMahon to say, hey, let's fuck Bret Hart out of his championship match and totally, blow him away and make him go, what the hell? This was not the ending. And, just hand me the title and I walk off and I'm champion. He's fucked and he gets screwed in the end in his home country. That is exactly what this sounds like. This sounds like Shawn Michaels taking the full responsibility that he doesn't have to take because he wasn't truly the head honcho of the. If this is the case, if this is true, if he is admitting that he is the guy running this shit, then him and Bruce Pritchard needs to be fired. They both need to get the fuck lost. This is terrible fucking booking. I watched NXT a couple of times since the end of the NXT 1.0, and I got to admit, guys, this is crap. I would not sit through this shit. I watched the very first episode with Dexter Lumis having a wedding with Indy Hartwell, and they had him actually speak. That is ridiculous. The man was known as a mute and known as a person who would be able to tell a story with an actual painting of some sort. So, bottom line, guys, I honestly think that Shawn Michaels is either full of shit or he's the worst creative writer on the planet. That's all I have to say on that. And I don't know what to believe. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he's just bullshitting. But man, that is some real fucking horse shit. But he's taking full responsibility. If the show is bad to anybody, it's on him. Okay, fine, Sean. You like putting all the weight and responsibility on your shoulders when it ain't really you? By all means, go ahead, pal. Because the show absolutely fucking sucks under your leadership as creative. And if you're the one doing all this creatively, then pal, you need to go hit the fucking bricks. Because you're absolutely fucking terrible at your job right now. I don't know. A lot of people said and praised him for the work he was doing in NXT UK. So, who the fuck knows? Matt87 Eagle says, you think HBK is running NXT? And he put a bunch of laugh my ass off emojis in his comment. Yeah, I totally do not believe this guy he's not running NXT. There is no fucking way. I don't believe for a solitary second this is Shawn Michaels' creative ideas. And if it is, folks, boy, has professional wrestlers lost their way. Really. I mean, Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. If you can go ahead and be great at what you do in the ring, why wouldn't you be able to do good creative booking at the same time? Honestly, watching NXT is like watching a fucking Monday Night Raw under the Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard regime. So, I'm sorry, HBK, but I'm not buying it. I don't believe you're running shit. I believe you're doing what you're told to do by the higher-ups, and that's it. Bruce Pritchard is running a fucking NXT now. This cannot be HBK. If it is HBK, like I said several times in this recording, live, I'm going to say that he needs to be fired. He's doing a terrible fucking job. So he needs to go if that's the case. I hope it's not the case. I hope he's not literally booking these shows. Because if he is, he's a terrible booker and he's terrible at his fucking job. Really. Matt87 Eagle also says everyone knows that Bruce is in charge and HBK is biting the bullet. Well, like I said, he's doing what he did in the Montreal screw job. He's the one taking full responsibility of what happened to Bret Hart. Instead of saying it's Vince McMahon's fault and it was his decision, he makes it look like he's the bad guy and he's the one that made all the decision and trying to fuck Bret Hart over out of the match that they were having in Montreal. That's all this is. And he's done this before. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the man takes responsibility of something that isn't his fault. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. All right. So it's been a huge joy to run that show and work with these talents. Again, everyone was put in a real tough position. We all were, but that's where you learn to do things in WWE. That to me is a form of talent development, which is understanding that things can always change around here and you have to adjust to that. The show always goes on, and it was a trial by fire for a lot of us, but it's been an absolute fantastic experience. Boy, is fucking HBK a ass kisser or what? As everyone knows, I came in just as a coach and then slowly moved into an assisting in creative and things of that nature. I was always the second guy right behind Hunter. I obviously never envisioned being the guy who had the final say on the show and what we do and don't do and the overall vision for what it is we're going to do and how we move forward. Again, folks, if this is Shawn Michaels' creative juices flowing on our television sets, it ain't working for me. Bottom line, this is terrible. This man needs to go. He needs to go hit the bricks. Go be with his wife on the ranch in Texas, doing something else besides booking shows. Because NXT, bro, you ain't cutting the mustard if that's you, man. If it's you, get lost, please. And if it's Bruce, of course, as always, good old buddy Bruce, please get off of fucking creative booking decision making and get the hell out. God almighty. I really can't believe that shit. I can't believe what I just read. HBK eating the bullet for this fucked out, wasted out company with their terrible booking decisions. Again, I will say this for the 100th time. If this is Shawn Michaels, he needs to go. That's all I got to say on that. All right, let's move on to something else here. Let's move on to discussing about Freddie Prinze Jr. and his new wrestling promotion that he's going to start up and who he wanted to make the centerpiece of the company. This is actually rather interesting. Basically, Freddie Prinze Jr. is trying to look for a way of starting up his own wrestling company. Hey, Daniel, he's saying, hey, I hope I'm not too late. No, you're not. I mean, you're missed half of the show. I may be closing up shop a little bit early, but we'll see. I got COVID, so my voice is not exactly the best. I'm kind of like sounding like I'm out of breath or something. I don't know. It only seems when I'm talking a lot is when I feel like that. Otherwise, I breathe perfectly fine. I also got a lot of phlegm in my throat, so that might be causing it. But yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. is starting up his own wrestling promotion. And his focal point was supposed to be around Karrion Kross. Now, this is not going to happen immediately. We're not going to see Freddie Prinze Jr. open his own wrestling promotion anytime in the near future, but it's going to take about a couple of years, he's claiming, that this is going to take. So basically, what he is doing at this time is he was looking for a centerpiece for his promotion. Karrion Kross was that guy. He explained to Karrion Kross, though, in the whole situation that if he has found something that is interested in taking him, that it pays more or gives him a guaranteed job, that he wants him to take it. My viewpoint on Freddie Prinze Jr. is he's a hell of a fucking guy. Because when Vince went, he told Karrion Kross that when Triple H reached out to him, he actually spoke to Freddie Prinze Jr. and asked him his thoughts on that. And he told him, yeah, he gave him the thumbs up, the green light to go to WWE because he didn't want the man to have to sit out and wait for him to start up his promotion. Now, that can always change down the line. Freddie Prinze Jr. could always get Karrion Kross back at some point with Karrion Kross in case, his contract goes up and maybe Karrion Kross decides, hey, I enjoyed my stay here in WWE. I want to try a venture out into another promotion like Freddie Prinze Jr. and work with him and see how things go and work on with him at that point. I think that would be awesome. Um, I think what Freddie Prinze Jr. did him a lot of good. He had a lot of positive coming out of this because at the end of the day, he might be able to get Karrion Kross to actually show up in his promotion. Hell, you never know. Maybe Vince, not Vince, fuck Vince. Vince won't work with anybody. But Triple H, I think he might actually consider working with Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion because of what he did. That's a possibility. And if I was Freddie Prinze Jr., I would definitely go ahead and reach out to Triple H. I mean, look at what Vince McMahon did with Paul Heyman's ECW. He worked alongside with him. He even helped him out financially when they were going bankrupt. Eventually, he just bought him out and took over the fucking name and the brand. But that's besides the point. I mean, this could be the same situation that Triple H could do with Freddie Prinze Jr., and it might benefit both of them. They might be able to work with each other and work with talents, be able to swap out talents and shit like that. Maybe, I'm not sure, based on contracts and shit like that, but they could always have some of those guys that are on Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion come to WWE and do similar stuff like what ECW did with Sabu. I think the Sandman was there in 97. They had Too Cold Scorpio. I think he was there as well. He actually worked in WWE at the same time. So yeah, I mean, this could be a great benefit to Freddie Prinze Jr. Doing the show and actually doing what he did with Karrion Kross. This might actually benefit for him and having a working relationship with Triple H. So who knows? We might actually see Triple H and try to convince Nick Khan and Stephanie to actually work alongside with somebody else. I think it's time for WWE to start playing with everyone in the sandbox. I really do. I think it is time for them to stop trying to be a one-man operation and actually care about the wrestling business and bring everyone together under one roof so that people can actually feel safe, they have job security, and if one promotion is not cutting it for them or one promotion can't afford it, why they can go somewhere else, but everyone's in a good working condition, meaning like everybody's on good terms with each promotion. I think that is something that should be considered by WWE and the rest of the wrestling promotions that are around today. Because I'm telling you what, guys, wrestling is a dying product. It really is. There are not a lot of people tuning in for professional wrestling on a week-to-week basis. And because there's so much of it, people ain't got the fucking time to watch every fucking promotion. Hell, I can't even do it. I tried doing an Impact Wrestling. I can't do it. I watch so much fucking wrestling between AEW and WWE and the old school wrestling that I like to watch. I just don't have the time to watch Impact Wrestling. If I went ahead and viewed every fucking promotion, I'd have no time for anything else. I'm a one-man operation here. I've offered, other people here to work alongside with me, but they ain't got the time either. They got their own personal life. I don't blame them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. So, there's just so much wrestling one person can consume in a day or in a week, I should say. It's nuts. And that is something that really is hard to do, and not to mention these wrestling shows are not all that great either. Most of them are not. The only two promotions I really focus on is AEW and WWE now that WWE's finally made that change of guard in creative and are starting to actually care about the product with Triple H at creative. So I think Stephanie McMahon cares a lot about this product because if she didn't, she wouldn't want her husband working in creative. So that's just kind of how I view that. But yeah, that's the main thing. Karrion Kross was going to be the focal point of Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion. But unfortunately, Karrion Kross took the job with WWE And Freddie Prinze Jr. felt totally fine with him going because he knows he needs to make money. He can't wait for him forever to make a promotion, you know, come about, have the everything taken care of with that. And then on top of it, go ahead and um going ahead and just pretty much just going off about, that he wants to go ahead and have carrying cross, but he said, you know what, you need to make an income, so go ahead and do it, man. And I thought that was a classy thing for him to do, for carrying cross, because it shows he gives a shit about the guy, and I think that's great. And that's the way promoter should be, most definitely. Matt 87 Eagle says, by the way, I'm not watching the show. Heard it from JD. JD's not watching the show? Is that what you meant, Matt? Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if you heard this, but oh, you didn't hear this, but I was watching JD's review on Monday Night Raw last night, and I saw Matthew Consuelo on there in the chat, so I was saying hi to him. So Matthew Consuelo, hello, man. I know you're not here in the chat right now like you normally are, but I didn't know you were a follower of JD. So welcome to the Off the Script family, man, because I'm one of those people. I always follow his videos. I don't always watch him live, but I definitely wanted to leave him a super chat, which I did yesterday, telling him that the show is good and none of the segments were a waste. So, and it's the truth. Raw was not a waste of time. I mean, I had some things going on that I needed to deal with, but I actually was checking things in time to time, and I got to say, this show has been excellent. I think Raw is actually better than SmackDown, and SmackDown's gotten some improvements. Look at SmackDown. The main event was fucking the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura. Had a 15-minute awesome matchup. Great stuff. The Ronda Rousey, she looked great. Dropping cash like she don't even give a fuck. Shayna Baszler being she was called the bootleg version of Ronda Rousey by Liv Morgan. Oh my goodness, that was funny. But yeah, SmackDown was good. I enjoyed that one too. And it was only a 2-hour show, and I think Raw needs to be 2 hours, and WWE's in good shape, at least with the main roster, to be honest. So let me go ahead and read the few comments that were made. Matt87 Eagle says, did you not see the message before that? Basically, Bruce is censoring the live crowd. Wait, Bruce Pritchard is censoring the live crowds in NXT? Oh my God. Why wouldn't that be a Kevin Dunn thing? Kevin Dunn has a lot to do with production. I would think that would be Kevin Dunn's deal. So I don't know about that one. Daniel says, I feel like things are slowly getting back together for WWE, and thank God. Yes, sir, absolutely. I wonder where Big On is, man. Big On's always in here telling us what he's watching tonight. Oh, man. I miss that dude, man. He's fucking funny as shit, man. We're talking about modern day professional wrestling. Guys sitting here talking about, hey, I'm watching 2015 wrestling. Hey, man, no beef with you, Big On. I think you're an absolute cool dude, and I'm not making fun of you by any means. I just find it extremely funny that you come in here and you talk about stuff from back in the day and stuff. So I just think it's kind of out there and, makes things a little bit more interesting and different. So appreciate you, Big On. And if you want to leave a comment in the chat, I'd love to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a little while. Um, but yeah, everybody here on this channel has been extremely happy with WWE on the main roster. NXT, I haven't seen change whatsoever. I don't particularly care for NXT anymore. I don't think Triple H even cares about NXT anymore. He cares about the main roster. He cares about making that product better because that's where the real money comes from. NXT is like college football to the NFL. That's all it is. That's what NXT's always been. NXT's always going to have a new guy leaving the always having a guy from the NXT promotion going to the WWE main roster, and then they got to find a new guy to replace him. This is the same concept in college sports. It's all you ever get. So there you go. Matt 87 Eagle says Bruce or the Beaver Kevin Dunn, does it really matter? He's responding to the comment about censoring the crowd at NXT. Well, I don't know. Does it really matter? No, I guess not. But Kevin Dunn's more involved with the production end of things than Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard's in the creative portion of this. So who knows? And honestly, who the fuck cares? Because I don't. I don't care about NXT. NXT's just one extra thing on the old let's watch television shit that I can't deal with. I mean, you got 3 hours of fucking Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, and then if you watch NXT, you got a total of 7 fucking hours of professional wrestling. That's almost a full day's of work. It's almost a full day of work. 8 hours, almost. All they needed is an extra third hour on NXT or SmackDown. You got 8 fucking hours of professional wrestling with WWE alone. You can cancel out AEW with Dynamite and Rampage. You had Dynamite and Rampage in with the 3 other shows of WWE. Oh, I don't know. You got 3 extra hours there. And then you got a total of 10 fucking hours total of professional wrestling. Why? That's complete and utter insanity. Who the fuck can have all that time to do all that shit? I know I can't. Yeah, fucking break, man. I got a life. I ain't glued to the television set waiting for the next wrestling show to come on, watching it every fucking day. If you watched every single wrestling promotion, you'd have a full week, Monday through Friday, of professional wrestling. Because here's how it works. Monday's Raw, Tuesday's NXT, Wednesday's Dynamite for AEW. And then you got Impact Wrestling on Thursdays. And then you got 3 hours between SmackDown and Rampage together as one combined amount of content to watch in one day. That's insane. Impact Wrestling's 2 hours long. I mean, 5 days straight of professional wrestling, of modern day content. No, thank you. That is wrestling overload. Wrestling overload, motherfuckers. Seriously. It's insane. But to be honest with you, some other things I liked about Raw last night. I liked Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. They fucking stole the show. Between the promo and the match that they had, excellent shit. Fortunately, it ended with a DQ, and I didn't particularly like that. But hey, I'd rather see the DQ than see either Kevin Owens or Drew McIntyre lose at this point, because Kevin Owens can't afford a loss. He needs to have some fucking wins under his belt to start having a winning streak and have a purpose on this fucking show already. And Drew McIntyre's in the hunt for a world championship match with Roman Reigns. So you can't have him losing going into the pay-per-view. That's just plain fucking completely dumb booking like Vincent Mann would do on a regular basis anyway. Matt 87 Eagle says Triple H is cleaning up the swamp of the main roster before he resurrects NXT from this 2.0 garbage. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Who watches Impact Wrestling? Laugh out loud by Matt 87 Eagle. Yeah, I understand. You love using the catchphrase that JD from New York 206 always says, Matt. I understand. Daniel says, I'm glad the stars can sound like themselves again without Vince around anymore. And I'm glad Ziggler is taking care of Theory because I still hate Theory. Well, Daniel, I'm sorry to tell you, but Dolph Ziggler lost that match. Now, I really think Dolph Ziggler has been handed the shaft up the fucking ass for the last almost 10 years now. Since 2013, when he lost the World Heavyweight Championship, he has been buried beyond belief. And I'd love to see him get resurrected and made into a main event superstar because the guy deserves it. He's an excellent talent. He reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels, and I think he could perform the types of matches Shawn Michaels used to produce back in his heyday and actually get whoever he's with over in their matches. I think he did a great job with Austin Theory last night. Do I believe they should have been the main event? Absolutely not. I do not. I don't think that match should have been the main event. I think it should have been AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley with the US Championship. Something that's weird about what Triple H is doing on SmackDown, he's having like championship matches as the main event. Raw, he did the first night he was in creative with the Usos. I like that. The tag team titles on the line. That was smart. But the US Championship has been used 2 weeks in a row, and he still has yet to put in the main event scene. And I don't like that. I think that sucks because that title is around the waist of Bobby Lashley, who's one of the most legitimate champions on their show. And I think he's kind of doing a little bit of a disservice to him as being champion. I think his matches with Tommaso Ciampa and AJ Styles back to back has been a lot of fun to watch. But honestly, I don't think that AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley should have been the co-main event, I should say, quote unquote, co-main event matchup being the first match on the third hour. I think it should have been the last thing on the third hour is what we should have seen because it's a championship match. I think all these titles should be treated as if they're a world championship. That's the way they should be. They should only have one championship on the line per episode if they decide to have a match for a title and make it the main event. That way the title is looked at as an actual legitimate championship that everybody should be wanting to go after. If they can't go after the world title, they should want to go after US Championship, Intercontinental Championship, or even tag team titles, depending on their gender. If they're a female, of course, they're going to go after the Raw and SmackDown women's titles. But that's all there is to say about this. When you're not using the World Championship on your week-to-week shows, you need to make those other titles mean just as much as the world title. That's all I have to say about that, man. And it's very important. You look at UFC, boxing, every fucking weight class is important. Every person that holds a world title in that weight class are utilized as something important. They're the main event. They're the last thing you see on a boxing show that you'll get, whether it's on pay-per-view or on live television. And that's the way these titles should be treated all the time. Matt87 Eagle says there was a reason for that. Wanted to pull viewers away from Better Call Saul. That was the reason? They used the U.S. Championship to pull viewers away from Better Call Saul. I don't know. I think the Dolph Ziggler Austin Theory match was good. I think that could have been utilized in that spot and then take the U.S. Championship, put it in the main event spot. But hey, whatever, man. It's fine. I'll admit this. It's a lot better than anything Vince McMahon was doing. Because anything Vince McMahon was doing in the main event spot was fucking terrible. I mean, the absolute worst fucking main event spot I ever heard of recently was Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley with a fucking pose down in oil greased up bodies. That was ridiculous and fucking sad and pathetic. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Not a whole lot of people showed up here today, but I had a lot of things to talk about with you guys. Hope you enjoyed what I had to, talk about here and the topics we had to go over. And I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, and I don't know why you wouldn't, hit the fucking like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment down below. And I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.